My name is Clara. This is my story. It is a story about a room, a cradle, and a heart that broke and learned to heal. My husband's name is Tom. We have been married for 5 years. We have a small house with a big garden. Our life was simple and quiet, but we wanted something more. We wanted a family. We wanted a baby. For a long time, we waited. We hoped. Every month, I hoped. And every month, my heart felt a little sad. But Tom always held my hand. He always said, "It will happen, Clara. Our time will come." Then one day, it did. I felt different. A small, secret happiness grew inside me. I bought a test. I waited. My hands were shaking. I saw 2 lines. 2 beautiful, perfect lines. I was pregnant. I could not believe it. I looked in the mirror and smiled. I was going to be a mother. I waited for Tom to come home from work. I put the test in a small box. I tied a ribbon around it. When he walked in the door, I gave it to him. He looked confused. He opened the box. He looked at the test. Then he looked at me. His eyes were wide. "Clara, is this real?" he asked. His voice was soft, like a whisper. I nodded. I could not speak. My heart was too full. Tears of joy ran down my face. Tom hugged me so tightly. He lifted me up and spun me around in our little living room. We were laughing and crying at the same time. That night, we sat on the sofa and talked for hours. We talked about names. We talked about the future. Our simple, quiet life was about to become full of noise and love. We were so ready. The next few weeks were magical. I felt a new kind of love, a love for someone I had never met. I talked to my baby all the time. I would put my hand on my stomach and say, "Hello in there. I am your mommy, your daddy, and I love you so much." Tom would come and put his hand next to mine. He would sing silly songs. Our house was filled with hope. We told our parents. My mother cried. She hugged me and said, "You will be a wonderful mother, Clara." Tom's father smiled his big, warm smile. He said, "Our family is growing." Everyone was happy for us. It felt like the world was celebrating with us. We had a small room in our house. It was just an extra room. It was full of old boxes and things we didn't use. One day, Tom stood at the door and said, "This will be the nursery." I smiled. "Yes," I said, "it will be the perfect nursery." So we started. We took out all the old boxes. We cleaned the room from top to bottom. The room felt empty, but it was an empty full of possibility. It was a blank page, waiting for our story. I painted the nursery with love and hope. I chose the color. It was a soft, pale yellow. It was the color of sunshine and happy mornings. Tom helped me. He was not a good painter. He got more paint on himself than on the walls. We laughed so much. We had paint on our noses and in our hair. But the room looked beautiful. It looked bright and warm. It felt like the happiest room in the world. Then we started to fill it. We bought a soft, white rug. We put up shelves for books. I bought little storybooks. I imagined reading them to my baby every night. I bought tiny clothes, tiny socks, tiny hats, tiny sweaters. They were so small. It was hard to believe a person could be so little. I folded them carefully and put them in the new dresser. And then we found the cradle. It was in an old antique shop. It was made of dark, smooth wood. It was simple and beautiful. The shop owner told us it was very old. He said many babies had slept in it. I touched the wood. It felt warm. I could almost feel the history. I could feel the love. We brought the cradle home. We put it in the center of the nursery. It was the heart of the room. I cleaned it until it shined. I bought a small, soft mattress for it. I found a blanket with little yellow ducks on it. I put it inside. The cradle was ready. It was waiting. Every day, I would go into the nursery. I would sit in the rocking chair we bought. I would look at the cradle. I would imagine our baby sleeping there, safe and sound. I would rock the cradle gently. It made a soft, creaking sound. It was a peaceful sound, a sound of love. The weeks passed. My belly grew. I could feel the baby move. It was like a little flutter, a secret message just for me. Tom would press his ear to my stomach. He would wait and wait. Then he would smile. "I felt it," he would say. "I felt our baby." We went to the doctor for our checkups. Everything was perfect. The doctor would listen to the baby's heartbeat. It was a strong, fast sound. Thump, 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 thump. It was the best music I had ever heard. The doctor smiled and said, "Your baby is very healthy." We were so relieved. We were so happy. Our next appointment was a special one. We were going to see our baby on the screen. We were going to see if it was a boy or a girl. We did not care. We just wanted to see our child. I was so excited. I could not sleep the night before. We went to the doctor's office. I lay down on the table. Tom held my hand. The room was dark. The doctor put the cold gel on my stomach. She moved the small wand around. The screen was gray and fuzzy. We waited. I held my breath. The doctor was quiet. She moved the wand again and again. The silence in the room was heavy. My heart started to beat faster, but not with excitement, with fear. Something was wrong. I looked at Tom. His face was pale. He was looking at the doctor. The doctor's face was sad. She was not smiling anymore. She turned to us. She took a deep breath. Then she spoke. "I'm so sorry, Clara, Tom." Her voice was very gentle. "There is no heartbeat." The words did not make sense. No heartbeat. That was impossible. I heard it just a few weeks ago. It was strong. "What do you mean?" I asked. My voice was shaking. "Maybe the machine is broken. Please check again." She checked again. The room was silent. So silent. The only sound was my own heart breaking. The doctor finally looked at me. Her eyes were full of pity. "The baby is gone, Clara. I am so sorry." Tom squeezed my hand. I looked at the screen. The gray, empty screen. My baby was there, but not there. My world stopped. Everything went cold. The doctor's office, which was always a place of hope, turned colder than winter. I don't remember much about leaving the hospital. I remember Tom helping me put on my coat. I remember the sad faces of the nurses. I remember walking outside. The sun was shining. The world was moving. People were laughing. How could they laugh? Didn't they know my world had ended? The drive home was silent. Tom drove. I looked out the window. I saw nothing. My mind was empty. My body was empty. My heart was empty. We were going home. But our home was not a happy place anymore. When we walked through the front door, the silence of our house was loud. It was a painful silence. Tom closed the door behind us. He held me. I started to cry. I cried for my baby. I cried for our dreams. I cried because I did not know how to live after this. And then I saw it. The door to the nursery was open. The soft yellow light from the room spilled into the hallway. The happy yellow walls, the little duck blanket, and the cradle, the empty cradle. I couldn't breathe. I turned away. I could not look at it. "Close the door, Tom," I whispered. "Please, close the door." He went and gently shut the door. The yellow light was gone, but I could still see it in my mind. The room of hope was now a room of pain. The cradle was not just waiting anymore. It was empty, and it would stay empty. The days after that were a blur. I stayed in bed. The world outside my window kept going, but my world had stopped. My body healed, but my heart did not. It felt like a heavy stone in my chest. Tom was amazing. He brought me food. He sat with me. He held my hand when I cried. He was broken too, but he was trying to be strong for me. Our parents came. They were so sad. My mother held me and we cried together. Tom's father just sat quietly, his eyes full of pain. People called. They sent flowers. They said, "I'm sorry for your loss." They said, "You are young. You can try again." I know they wanted to help, but their words hurt. Try again. How could I try again? I didn't want another baby. I wanted my baby. The baby I loved. The baby I lost. The hardest part was the house. Everything reminded me of our lost hope. The books on our shelf about pregnancy. The little pair of baby shoes someone gave us. And the closed door. The door to the nursery. It was always there. A silent reminder of what we didn't have. I never opened it. I could not. Just thinking about that room made my chest hurt. Tom asked me one day, "Clara, what should we do with the nursery?" I shook my head. "I don't know," I said. "I can't think about it. Not yet." So the door stayed closed. Weeks turned into months. I started to get out of bed. I started to eat. I even started to smile sometimes. But it was a sad smile. I felt like a ghost in my own life. I would see mothers with their babies in the park. I would see pregnant women in the grocery store. A sharp pain would go through my heart every time. I felt so alone. Tom went back to work. He tried to make our life normal again. We would watch movies. We would eat dinner together. But there was always a sadness between us, an unspoken grief. He was grieving too, but in a different way. He was quiet. He kept his pain inside. Sometimes, I felt like we were miles apart, even when we were sitting in the same room. One evening, I was in the kitchen washing dishes. I was looking out the window at our garden. It was messy. The flowers were dying. We had not taken care of it since before. I just stood there, watching a single red rose droop its head. And I started to cry. Not loud, just silent tears. Tom came in. He saw me. He didn't say anything. He just came and stood behind me and put his arms around me. I leaned back against him. "I miss our baby so much, Tom," I whispered. His arms tightened around me. And then I felt something wet on my shoulder. He was crying too. He had been so strong for so long. But now, he was letting his sadness out. We stood there for a long time, holding each other and crying together. And in that moment, I didn't feel so alone anymore. We were in this together. We were broken, but we were broken together. That night, we talked. We really talked for the first time in months. We talked about our baby. We decided to give her a name. We called her Lily. It was a beautiful name for our beautiful, tiny girl who we never got to meet. Saying her name out loud made her feel more real. It made our love for her feel more real. Our grief was not just for a dream. It was for a person. Our daughter, Lily. The next day, I went out into the garden. It was a mess. There were weeds everywhere. The soil was dry. I found my gardening gloves. I started to pull the weeds. It was hard work. My hands got dirty. I worked for hours. I pulled every weed. I dug up the dry soil. I felt tired, but it was a good kind of tired. For the first time in a long time, my mind was quiet. I was just focused on the earth, on my hands in the dirt. I started to spend every day in the garden. I bought new seeds. I planted them carefully. I watered them. I watched them. It was slow. For a long time, nothing happened. But I was patient. I tended to my garden every single day. My neighbor was an older woman named Alina. She had a beautiful garden full of colorful flowers. She would sometimes see me from her yard. She would wave and smile. One day, she came over to my fence. "Your garden is starting to look lovely, Clara," she said. Her voice was kind. "Thank you," I said. "I'm trying." She looked at me for a moment. Her eyes were very wise. "Gardening is good for the soul," she said. "Sometimes, you have to clear away the old and dead things to make space for new life to grow." Her words stayed with me. That's what I was doing. I was clearing away the sadness to make space for something new. Slowly, very slowly, things started to grow. Tiny green shoots pushed through the soil. They were so small, but so strong. I felt a little spark of joy. Life was coming back to my garden. And maybe, just maybe, it was coming back to me too. One sunny afternoon, I was sitting in my garden. The flowers were blooming. There were red roses, yellow daisies, and purple lavender. It smelled wonderful. I felt a sense of peace. The heavy stone in my chest felt a little lighter. I thought about Lily. I still missed her every day. But the pain was different now. It was not a sharp, angry pain anymore. It was a soft, quiet sadness, a part of me. I realized that my love for her did not die. It was still here. It was in the flowers. It was in the sunshine. It was in my heart. That evening, I said to Tom, "I think I'm ready." He looked at me. Ready for what? "The nursery," I said. "I think it's time to open the door." He nodded. He took my hand. We walked to the closed door together. My heart was beating fast. I was scared. But I was not alone. Tom was with me. He opened the door. We stepped inside. The room was just as we left it. The yellow walls were still bright, but there was a layer of dust on everything. The room smelled stale and sad. My eyes went to the cradle, the empty cradle. I walked over to it. I ran my hand along the smooth, dark wood. It was cold now. I looked at the little duck blanket inside. I thought about our baby, Lily, who never got to sleep here. Tears welled up in my eyes. But this time, they were not just tears of pain. They were tears of love. "It's a beautiful room," Tom said softly, standing behind me. "We made it with so much love." "Yes, we did," I said. "The love is still here. It didn't go away." We stood in the room for a long time. We didn't know what to do. Should we paint it a different color? Should we sell everything? It felt wrong to just erase it. It felt wrong to pretend it never happened. Then I had an idea. "What if we give it away?" I said. Tom looked at me. "Give it away?" "Yes," I said, "all of it. The cradle, the clothes, the toys. What if we give them to a family who needs them? A family who is waiting for their baby." Tom was quiet for a moment. Then he smiled. A real, warm smile. The kind of smile I hadn't seen in a long time. "That's a beautiful idea, Clara." So that's what we did. It was not easy. Packing up all those tiny clothes was hard. Each little sock, each little hat was a reminder of our dream. But as we packed, we talked. We talked about Lily. We imagined what she would have been like. We cried a little. We laughed a little. We were not packing away our sadness. We were sharing our love. We found a charity that helped new mothers who didn't have much money. We took all the boxes there. The woman who ran the charity was so grateful. She said, "You have no idea how much this will help someone." The last thing to go was the cradle. We decided to give it to a young couple we knew from Tom's work. They were expecting their first baby, and they were so excited, but also so worried about money. We carried the cradle to their small apartment. The young woman's eyes filled with tears when she saw it. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "We could never afford something so beautiful." "It was made with a lot of love," I said. "And it has a lot of love left to give." Her husband shook Tom's hand. "Thank you," he said. "We don't know what to say." "Just love your baby," Tom said. "That's all." We left them there, standing in their living room, looking at the cradle with so much hope in their eyes. Walking away was hard. My heart ached, but it was a good ache. It was the ache of letting go. The ache of turning our pain into someone else's joy. When we got home, the nursery was empty. The walls were still yellow, but the room didn't feel sad anymore. It just felt quiet. It was a blank page again, ready for a new story, our story. Life is different now. The sadness for Lily will always be a part of me. It is a quiet corner of my heart, but my heart is bigger now. It is big enough to hold the sadness and the love, the pain and the hope. We turned the nursery into a guest room. Sometimes I go in there and I sit by the window. I look out at my garden. I see the flowers that grew from the dark soil, and I think about how life can be beautiful and painful at the same time. I don't know what the future holds for us. Maybe one day, our house will be filled with the sound of children. Maybe it won't. But I know that we will be okay. Tom and I are stronger together. Our love is deeper. Our loss did not break us. It changed us. It taught us about grief and kindness and the incredible strength of the human heart. My cradle is no longer empty in my home, but my heart is not empty either. It is full of love for Tom, full of love for my garden, and full of a quiet, gentle love for my little girl, Lily, who I carry with me always. If you are going through a hard time, please remember this. It is okay to be sad. It is okay to cry. It is okay to heal slowly. Your heart is strong, stronger than you think. You can get through this. You can find the sunshine again. You just have to keep going, one day at a time.